Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3.
Oof.
The Convert.
Dude, I don't know what to think of this episode. Like, the beginning of this episode was absolutely like
Pure Star Wars.
It was pure Star Wars. It was amazing. It was probably some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen. And then all of a sudden, I felt like I just jumped into Andor, which was also awesome. I'm still trying to figure it out. So we're here again. I'm here with Max. I'm here with Joey. Let's talk some Star Wars. What do you guys think? We're the extremists. Thank you, Max.
Got to keep us aligned.
Gotta keep us in check. Keep us in check. Max, what did you think of that episode?
Solid. That opening, like, what is that? Soft open? You didn't even get the title of the
I feel
show
like
yet. And
soft opens have to be like, we can't call it soft open.
What do they
that
call
was
these?
full blown open.
Yeah, they went hard.
Wide
with that.
open.
That was really pretty awesome. Like, I thought, like, wow, this is gonna be really action packed episode right off the bat. They gave you like hard hits right there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, like, I think I had a theory of like where the episode was going to go last, or what, like during the last podcast, and I was like, they're not going to do the Mythosaur. But then I changed my mind after watching the episode like the fourth time with my son. Like, they're going to do Mythosaur. Like, there's no way they just showed the Mythosaur. Then all of a sudden it opens up. There's no fucking Mythosaur, and it not only that, it goes to a totally different place that I did not see coming at all, which was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
I think they definitely. So, I think there was a lot to this episode that leaves a lot of questions open.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
And so, like, the first one, I think with the Mythosaur, just since you brought it up, just how Bo was asking Din when he woke up, when you were down there, did you see anything?
Yeah.
And then did you see anything alive? So, like, that's not the last time we saw the Mythosaur.
No,
and I think because she knows that she's not getting the Darksaber from Din, and her only real claim to restore Mandalore would be if, like the ancestors and from thousands of years before, if she could tame the Mythosaur or something like that, that would be one of her keys in. And I feel like that's kind of why she was fishing a little bit if he saw it or not. Yeah. And then she kept it to herself, right? So we're definitely going to see that creature somehow.
It's all about the story, right? That would be a better story.
Absolutely.
So let's just
takes that thing.
Let's fast forward. Let's just say at the end of the season, she actually rides the Mythosaur and she becomes like queen ruler of everything. Is her first act to actually change the name of the Mythosaur because it's no longer a myth? It's so stupid. I'm sorry.
Idiot.
No. That's so stupid to say that. Okay, but it's funny, like she asks him if he sees it, and then he obviously doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And she doesn't tell him. She's keeping the secret to herself.
Yeah.
I think she wants the card in her back pocket, dude.
Right.
Yeah, it, like we were talking offline, I believe it's that, or it's the only other explanation would be she's questioning what she saw. Like, did I really see that? Am I going crazy?
True.
Was it a figment of my imagination? But I don't think it's that.
No,
I really
don't think
she's holding that to tell the better story. Because her whole goal in life is to rule. Everything we've seen this, in the show, since she's been a character, is for her to restore Mandalore and take over the throne.
And I think she saw a little like glimpse of opportunity there.
Yeah,
and then since he didn't, and even if he didn't know it, even if he didn't know like the significance of that, she does.
Oh yeah.
She knows all the history. She knows all of the Mandalorian lore. She knows it all.
She got her second wind, because previous episode, she's like lounging on her throne with nobody there, with just some droids, and kind of depressed. And now she has an opportunity, and she's playing that chess in her mind. She's like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm going to keep this to myself.
Right.
Back pocket, figure a way to capitalize on this.
And just since we're on her, just to fast forward to kind of this ending scene, I think her, joining quote unquote children of the watch. I don't really think she wants that, but I think she's thinking, okay, I lost my current crew. Like you were saying, she's sitting solo in her palace. So I think that she's kind of okay with kind of blending in here just because she's kind of figuring out what the heck is going on. And she could have a crew here depending on what she does.
Who better than, I don't want to call them religious zealots, but who better to get on your side, especially when you have a Mythosaur in your back pocket, to kind of carry on that story with you.
She's got the Orthodox Mandalorians.
Yeah,
what you know about it? Yeah,
exactly. Now she has the myth right in her pocket, so she's setting herself up really nice.
So, question, because she was the queen of she became the queen, right, of Mandalore at some point.
I mean, ruler, queen, something like that.
She was something like that. So, but now in these followers' eyes, that she's now redeemed herself because she actually, went into the bathe, whatever the thing is called. Is she now like the leader of them?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure that
one guy was like, your house fell. Your name doesn't mean anything anymore.
But if she redeemed himself,
so it's
a different thing. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I think just like the name, her house name is redeemed. Like those, sins have been washed away. However you want to look at it, but I don't think that puts her in charge because they're still all separate. They're all factioned out.
So. Okay.
She's redeemed.
Did anybody else, I wanted to ask one question, multiple questions, but did anyone else think it was a dick move that Din Djarin didn't say thanks for saving me at that water pit?
He did on the ship. He thanked her.
Does he on the ship? I meant like right then and there.
Oh.
But I don't remember the ship part. Okay.
Yeah,
he said, I'm forever indebted to
you. He thanked her in the ship.
Because that was the third save.
Yeah.
That was the third save.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's why there's three of us. Okay, so.
She basically owns him.
So we just now talked about the first 10 minutes of the episode, and we just talked about the last 5 minutes of the episode. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this thing, so that we get to see Coruscant. This is the first time we've seen.
Why you can't jump on Coruscant? You left a big question mark right in that beginning scene. You get through. They're fighting.
That's right. A bunch of interceptors and stuff like that. Yeah, that's right.
Where are they coming from? Who's directing them? I
forgot about that. Yeah,
that's a huge
That's also a big
question mark there.
I was just gonna say huge open-ended. What are they doing there?
Yeah,
and she
revenge.
Bo made mention that they were, and I forget exactly her wording, but she made mention of them like oh yeah, they were something.
Because she said she's stolen a few cruisers or whatever. She's hijacked. That was the term.
Right.
She hijacked a couple, and in season 2, they hijacked that one.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they actually get two ships.
Yeah, they get 2 ships.
Yeah, they get 2 ships.
So I'm thinking, is that that's kind of overkill for hijacking 2 ships?
Let's say it's retaliation.
Okay.
Where was the big ship that actually carried all those things? Because as far as I know, interceptors they don't have warp, right?
No.
Yeah,
and they're Imperial.
That's why they were able to escape.
And they're Imperial. So
that was Imperial.
So
what the fuck?
if Gideon's in prison, who's in charge of these guys?
Exactly.
Are we going to say
Exactly.
it? Are we still just maybe?
No, man. I think we have to kind of assume.
But maybe they actually came from Mandalore.
The Imperials?
Oh, you think they were there already?
Well, I did have that theory that someone might be hiding on that planet.
I mean,
and they're
and honestly, she's another. That's just another planet in the sector. Yeah. I mean,
she was on the moon.
Yeah,
right.
That's a little weird. It's a lot of interceptors showed up, and a lot of TIE bombers showed up.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought when they were about to go into light speed and go into whatever,
you were going to see it.
Yeah, you were going to see it, but they didn't show it there. So it's a big mystery right there. That's,
and I think it's for a reason too.
oh, sure.
Like all these little Easter egg kind of things that they hint at give us something, and I think this is a big one, and I think we have to keep in mind that they've already kind of lined up this potential for Thrawn to come in at some point.
Yeah,
and I just truly feel like we are going to see him.
We're sticking.
On,
I'm sticking with the Thrawn thing,
I think it has to happen. They've already laid the groundwork for it.
Yeah.
I mean, online, the actor who voiced him
I saw that.
said he wasn't casted as him.
Sure.
He didn't say that Thrawn isn't going to be part of it. He just says, I wasn't casted on it. So whoever is casted, it's a mystery. Disney's holding it close to the vest.
But that's like Ahsokatano.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say that.
So, they didn't cast
go with
Ashley.
OG with her, yeah.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I think it has to be more than just them. She hijacking some ships. destroyed her place. Like,
yeah, I also think it's bigger than Moff Gideon too.
Oh,
you know,
for
like
sure.
this isn't about Moff.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it is.
There's no way.
I don't think you're gonna see him again in this show. They're just mentioning his name dropping from time to time, and that's it.
I could see like a prison visit or something to ask him a question.
Like a guest appearance. He's
Well,
a
he
very
was-
busy actor.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but he's also
Right, he is, isn't he?
he's also been in like I don't know how much this would play into it, but he's been at some of the like events for Mando season 3. And so, you know, why would he be there if he's not going to have any screen time in season 3?
I didn't know that.
That's
so
true.
He's going to be there then.
You know, I think he's going to come at some point, but I don't think there's no way he's the main baddie.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
think
mean?
he's orchestrating all this.
No way. There's no way.
Especially once we get to Curacao and see what's going on there.
If he's orchestrating the whole thing from a cell, this is going to be pretty disappointing.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. And I don't think Filoni and Favreau are going to do us like that. Especially, again, you've already brought up Thrawn in The Mandalorian. You've brought in Ahsoka. She's talking about it. You're going to do a whole show on it.
Yeah.
You've already weaved in Boba, Ahsoka, Luke, Mando, everybody into this show.
All the pieces are on the board.
Totally. And they're just giving us little offshoots, and they're going to bring it all together. It might not be in this show, but they're going to give us something in. There's no way season 3 is ending without either hearing or seeing Thrawn.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I agree with this.
Yeah, I'm not arguing.
No way.
All right, we ready to jump to the other show that was in this show?
The show within the show?
Okay, so I kind of felt that looking back at this episode after watching it, that this episode might have already been filmed, and let's just say Filoni and Favreau saw Andor, and they're like, "Oh man, this is really good. What if we just cut this episode and just like split it in half, and then threw an entirely different episode in the middle of it?" Then we get that feeling because all of a sudden we get to see Coruscant. So
yeah,
we get to see Coruscant for the first time.
It's all its glory.
But the first time since the New Republic's taken over. We've never seen Coruscant since
that was really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely has a totally different vibe as far as like how it's being ran, right? But it was super cool to see that. It's super cool. So it opens up with, what's the doctor's name again?
Pershing.
Yeah. So he's given some kind of a speech, which at first maybe I thought it was like, this is the new Senate, but it's not that.
No.
I don't think it was that. It was some like,
it was almost like that playhouse from Revenge of the Sith, like where you like it was like the opera, like the moving water.
It
was almost like that place, but like he was
aristocrats. It was almost like a charity event.
Like he was in the forum, you know.
Yeah. You got a bunch of aristocrats and people just, you know. It wasn't anything serious,
and it's almost like he was pitching himself, like, "Hey, this is what I could do for you know."
Yes.
But he was pitching himself to be a part of that program, right?
Yes.
The redemption program or whatever it was actually called.
Started with an A.
Did anybody write that down? Yeah, someone will message us and say that this is what it was. But it was like he was pitching himself to be a part of this program, and he was selling
amnesty program.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you talking
about?
Okay,
this is why
I'm trying to figure out what you were trying to say.
Oh man, you're the man. So anyway, so he's trying to get into this program, and he's in this speech. He's basically saying every single thing that he was doing for the Empire. He was forced to do that. He didn't believe in that, and so let me into this program. And
is that what was happening?
I think that's what was happening.
I thought he was already in the amnesty program. I thought he was just
because
telling what his story.
I don't think he was there yet because remember, like the next scene you see him going to to see where he lives, and he gets to see all the other people that are in the program, which I think is kind of weird. Let's take all the bad guys and throw them into one spot, and hopefully they won't have a mutiny. But yeah, I think that was him just like that was like the final thing of like his redemption program to get there was like, now that I've gone through all the schooling or whatever, like let me give the speech and then take me home and I'll do my boring job. That's not the take you guys got from that?
No, I thought he was just providing, giving a lecture on what he knew to, a bunch of bigwigs.
That's what I thought too, but now that you're saying that was your take on it, that would make more sense than kind of what I thought originally. Well, it was also just like in the beginning, right when that was like the first scene, so I wasn't really thinking about it like that when I was watching it.
Right,
it might take a second time through to really kind of understand. But I think what you're saying makes more sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
I think I might have felt the way you're talking about, but once the episode kept going and you realize that cloning is not basically like allowed.
It's not kosher.
Then, then it made me think, well, then why is he trying to pitch something that he knows is not going to happen?
True.
Well, that's his expertise.
I mean, but obviously they don't care because look where they placed him. Because I thought that was also weird. Also, like, because you're this doctor who knows how to do Camino cloning, really.
He's doing fucking data entry, basically.
He's doing data entry that's being destroyed, which didn't really make any sense. Like, why are you going to archive data that you're going to just then destroy?
Well, we were talking about, me and Joe were talking about it before.
I guess the archive that you did destroy it? That makes more sense.
It's a really unique... Oh, that's my phone.
I'm not editing that.
It's a unique...
It's 2:00 in the morning. I'm not editing that.
It's still 1:30. It's a tactic that's interesting in terms of wartime, because if you look back to World War II, right? The United States used a lot of the German scientists to advance the United States' science, right?
No, yeah.
And they didn't put them in menial jobs. They helped the space program. They helped all the major, pretty much what you were doing in Germany.
You're going to come do here.
For Hitler, you're going to do here, and we're going to take advantage of that. Same thing with Russia. They use the same philosophy. Here, it looks like the New Republic is doing the opposite, where they're taking these their ships, all the tech, all the great scientists, and they're saying, you know what? We don't want you to do any of the stuff you were working on. You don't even want to know it, pretty much. We're just going to give you, like you said, a data entry job, and you're going to live a peaceful life, and you're going to get reprogrammed if you have to. But this is the way we're going to do it.
Right.
Which it's odd, you know?
Well, I get it with the cloning thing, because if you go back to, obviously, the prequels, the cloning is what, really helped overthrow the Jedi and all that kind of stuff. And I know you're watching Bad Batch, right, Joey?
Oh yeah.
So in Bad Batch, I'm at the episode because I'm not fully caught up. But for anybody who's not watched the Bad Batch, I'm gonna spoil a section. Are you not caught up?
Of course I'm caught up.
Okay, well, there's the whole I just now saw the part where the Senate and the Emperor come out and basically now just threw down the gauntlet and said, we're getting rid of the clones, because the clones follow blindly and don't have, they basically destroyed their home by someone else giving them the orders to do that.
Yeah, Palps also wants, quantity over quality.
Right. But that's his thing. So now you look at the clones have, it's a bad taste in the New Republic, for sure. Because the Old Republic, they turned against them in a way, right? So why would you not want the cloning around at all? I don't understand getting rid of the tech. I don't understand any of that stuff. But the cloning thing, I can understand that.
Well, to use it, but you should at least know you should have, as a superpower, quote unquote, right?
Sure.
You need to, this guy would not be doing data entry in normal settings. You need to have him debrief you on every aspect, every project, every application, every, because there might be an application that you might say, you know what? This might actually be something that could be to our advantage. But it's almost like they're like completely, it's a no-go. We don't even want to deal with it. We don't even want to hear your proposals on how it could be beneficial.
You're right. But he did actually do that, though, in his speech in the beginning. Remember,
briefly.
Because he says the reason why he got into the cloning is because his mother died. And so what he was originally trying to do is clone hearts and organs, body parts, right? To save lives. That was his main reason for doing what he was doing. And that's kind of interesting that the New Republic isn't even interested in that.
But maybe it's because he brought up
I know why.
He brought up the moral aspect of cloning, which even if you think about today's day and age, if we had, the ability to do like the kind of cloning that they were doing, the question that would be coming up in our society is the moral aspect of cloning. Should this actually happen? Should this actually be done? And he brought that up.
Well, when he's talking about his mother, he basically said it like there is heart cloning, but he's like, on the planet he lived on, they didn't have it yet. They didn't even have the basic heart cloning. So that's a basic cloning level, but his stuff is even even further advanced, obviously, right? So I'm just weird. It's just weird to me that they chose the New Republic chose that opposite route of embracing your enemy's knowledge and talents and really like we don't want. It's almost like we don't want to touch it. We don't want to hear about it. We're just going to destroy it.
But I think in like the Star Wars universe, you have the ability without cloning. You have the ability with just technology to replace things, and like Grievous is a great example, right? So like he
just like as recent as Boba Fett.
Huh?
Look at what's her name from Boba Fett?
Exactly, Fennec.
Fennec,
Fennec.
Yeah, hardware.
You know what I mean?
Like
a
so I think this is
modder guy who just basically built her an entire new stomach.
Exactly. So I think this whole cloning topic is partly because of what happened.
Yes.
You know, prequel wise and with the clones, totally. And so I think there's this almost bad taste for cloning, and that's why they put him in this kind of menial job.
I'd still watch that guy a little bit closer, which apparently they were.
I guess they set up an entrapment on him.
Well, I don't think that was the New Republic that did that. I almost feel like this was like her staying the comms officer for Gideon. I feel like this was her staying true to Gideon and like, hey, if this dude like is gonna like start helping the New Republic or maybe spill the beans on some, let's cap his ass type of thing. And that's why she entrapped him.
I don't know.
No, on his theory, she probably was the one that went to them and said, hey, this guy, he is deep into this cloning thing. He's not going to give it up. I think we should, I can help, kind of entrap them, quote unquote, check to see if he's still as passionate as I know, because I worked with him. I was on the ship.
But I don't think she's doing it for the betterment of the New Republic. This is
she pitched that to them, correct, to do the stick, because she's in the amnesty program too.
Yeah,
she probably pitched it to them, and they were like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's
double agent,
double agent thing.
Here.
Yeah, let's do the sting." And then, but her real motives is to wipe this guy.
Totally.
So he's non-factor because he has obviously valuable information.
I don't know. That still feels kind of weird that she'd want to do that for Gideon, though, because the cloning
it might not be Gideon. It might be she might be getting her orders from somebody else.
I don't know. Like I kind of feel like this guy, like the whole cloning thing that they were doing in Mandalorian, was kind of maybe building to something to save, the prequel or the sequels, because of the whole, Palpatine and Snoke thing and all that kind of stuff. So taking this guy out of the equation, then it brings it all back to then now how did you get there, right? Unless you introduce somebody else later on that's continuing as what?
No, we got
you've already destroyed like part of the planet or part of the stuff on the original planet that they've been doing all this stuff. Man, I can't do these things too. Like I keep forgetting the names of places. You know what I'm talking about in the second season where Din Djarin goes back to the original planet that they started the whole thing with, and they destroy that Imperial base.
Navarro? You're not talking about Navarro,
Is it Navarro? Yeah.
Like the original planet?
Yeah, they go to Navarro and then you see all the cloning bodies and stuff like that, and then you see the recording of like the guy saying like I need more blood from the original host sample to get the M counts up. It's like so that was one of the cloning bases, right? That ended up getting destroyed. Right? Am I wrong?
Nah.
Maybe wrong. Yeah, it's fine. I think you're taking all these things off the board. And I was really looking forward to hopefully like solving how we brought the Emperor back.
No, that was all Palpatine. No,
figuring out
totally
how they have my clone Luke Skywalker somewhere.
No. That's all Palpatine though. That's all Palpatine. It has nothing to do with Pershing. That's all Palpatine. And he's always had that, even when he was chancellor, even when he was a senator. That was always something that he was doing from his master. From Plagueis.
Right.
This is all brought. So he always had his own shit going on. I don't think it had anything to do with Pershing. I don't think it. I think it's all actually separate in a way, like tied in, but separate.
I'm sure Pershing is not the only scientist they have either.
That's what I mean. So I don't think they needed Pershing or this story to tie in to how Palpatine was able to come back, how he was able to create Snoke, because
then what's the whole point of trying to get Grogu the entire time to get his blood for the M count? Like, what was that whole purpose? Why was Gideon trying to do that to begin with then?
I don't think we know yet. I think they're staging this.
Didn't they say that they need the M counts to help stabilize something with the clones? Isn't that what I think I remember one of the characters saying something like that? It's not Pershing himself.
Here's the one
that in one of the previous episodes.
The one thing they were never able to figure out, and why this maybe this is the tie-in, is Palps was never able to find a way to make himself as powerful in his cloned body because of the metachlorian count. So maybe
count, okay.
I think it's connected.
Something to do with it.
Connected.
Or they're staging it for something else. There's been like things floating around about like, potential of like dark Jedi and this thing with Thrawn. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think the whole cloning thing is over just because Dr. Pershing is gone.
No.
Okay.
Let me just like throw something in here. What did we think of the entire episode minus the Mandalorian parts? Just in general, like as a whole picture, what did you think about this whole Dr. Pershing story?
Max, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
It didn't seem like a Mandalorian episode, from it, because this show is dubbed as a space western. This was not very it didn't feel like a space western, right? But they're obviously laying a foundation for some story that they're gonna lay out in this thing. But I think overall, this episode kind of brings us back to where we were last week, where okay, they closed off some loops, but we still don't know where they're going. So now we were anticipating this episode was going to lead us to where this season's going to take us and beyond, and it didn't. It created a story, closed this loop, and then it again closed the bathing in the living waters loop, right? So now we're anticipating episode 4 to maybe lay the groundwork to lead us into that. So that's how I looked at this episode.
Did you like it?
Answer.
Did you like it?
I obviously I liked it because you know why? Because at the end I was like, wait, I need more. Like why is this over already? Again, I complained about why Disney doesn't drop all the episodes all at once. I'm the binge guy, so it was like you sat down, you anticipated it was Thanksgiving, right? I thought it was going to be Thanksgiving based on last episode, like they were going to really break the internet today, right? I sat down, they gave me a great opening course, right? Then they gave me a turkey that was a little dry, and then I was still hungry at the end. That's how I took it, to put it in an analogy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this episode. And one of the main reasons why is any single time you can show me what's happening in the Star Wars galaxy, like in a different location, let's just kind of see what's going on. I love that kind of stuff. Now, you show me Coruscant and you show me kind of like, give me kind of an idea how things are over there, which is kind of nice. But it does seem like they closed something really quickly because now you took the doctor and we're going to assume that he no longer can use his brain anymore, right? Like we just fried
that knob up.
Yeah. So he's
wiping him.
He's off the board. So now you don't really kind of know what she's doing. Is she there for like a different agenda, or is she there because she really believes in the New Republic and she doesn't want to she just wants to make sure nothing
close.
actually.
She's evil.
I think you could go either way, to be honest with you. But you didn't get that internet breaking thing like we were hoping for.
No.
Like you didn't see like, a new character pop up and go, "Hey, I'm part of this universe as well. I've been around for a while, or I'm back."
They teased us though. When she was walking into his speech, you're like, who's that? Who's that?
Yeah, like, oh, this girl, like the communications girl. That's like, she's got great arms. She looks like she works out, but that's pretty much it. They're like, it wasn't anything where it's like, is she a Sith Lord or something?
Yeah,
like, there's nothing there that was like, oh man, that's great. I mean, the best thing was that you got to see Coruscant, at least for in the middle part of that.
That was really cool.
The way it seemed like it just jumped out the gate in the beginning of the episode, where it's like, all right, we left Mandalore and now we're in the middle of a one of the best aerial spaceship fights that we've seen.
That was sick
in quite a while.
And it looked really good.
It looks like they spent 50% of the budget on that. Like there was a lot of stuff going on there.
But Coruscant looked awesome too.
Coruscant looked great, yeah. But then it's like if you bookend that, like you just take those two sections, put them together. I mean, that's what, a 20-minute episode, 25-minute episode. But then you piled in 30 minutes of hanging out on Coruscant. I mean, I liked it. It took a turn where I felt like I said it before, like it felt like we went into Andor, for a little bit, which was nice because I love that show. Then he took me out of there, and then went back to Mandalorian. So where does all that go? I have no idea. We know now that from Bokatan, she bathed in the water now with Din Djarin. So now she hasn't taken her mask off, which I kept pointing that out. Like she didn't take her mask off while she's flying. She still didn't take her mask off. Like we all kind of saw that going that way. Now it's kind of like, what does she do now? Does she just kind of fight for the leadership of them, or does she think that they're just all going to follow her now? Are they like, hey, let's go get a mythosaur?
I think she's just keeping the card in her pocket. Now.
Yeah,
we just still don't know what's going to happen.
No,
like,
not at all.
I still think it's interesting. You solved every single thing we thought was going to happen within the first 2 episodes. You make this 3rd episode, like what you said, Max. Like, oh, we're going to have something. We don't know. We have no idea where it's going, which is in a way awesome.
It's cool. It makes you
want
to come back.
It's like a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Joey, what was your feeling? How did you feel about that episode? What threw you off?
So I dug the episode. I think the only thing that threw me off was it started with such a bang, and then it had this transition to this more Andor vibe, as you pointed out. And although I liked that, I feel like they almost took like maybe a little too long in that whole storyline with Pershing in this episode.
Yeah.
And there were parts of it that felt maybe like a smidge corny, but I'm totally nitpicking here. I think as a whole, like I really dug the episode, and I think they were doing, some character development. I think they were setting up. I think like kind of like we were talking about, like they were kind of wrapping up some of the storylines, but I think they were leaving things open to go to other places in other episodes.
Let me ask you a question. What's the point of baiting him to go to a Star Destroyer to get him captured in order to just kill him? Why not just kill him anywhere else? You know what I mean? Like, why not just kill him on the Death Star?
Because it's not on her. I think she knew what they were going to be.
There's 3 billion. Like, they said there's like trillions of people that live on that.
Yeah, but there's a trillion people. But look what happened to Andor. He killed 2 people in an alley, like in a drunken, dark, rainy alley, and had like the whole galaxy
on a planet of like 12 people, and they were all at the brothel. It was weird.
Well, there's a lot of benefits for her helping. One, she's still in that amnesty program.
Right.
This could kind of help
her way up.
Work her way up. She's obviously a double agent, so this can help her gain trust, work her way up.
Okay.
Right. And it's wiping the guy's mind. So it was a good entrapment.
And I think you can see it just in like her eyes. I feel like they were really good in this episode about showing like her personality when she's around people, but then she has this like, she'll have this change and have this like look in her eye.
Sure.
And I think they were good at showing that. And she's definitely got some evil in there.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I agree with that. But overall, I liked the episode.
I thought it was great.
I would say it's my second favorite episode this season.
So I would agree.
I still think it's better than the first episode.
I do too. Oh, this was a great episode.
It was a great episode. It started off great.
It ended great.
You can't take away the fact that you saw Coruscant. I don't know if it ended great. It definitely ended.
I liked the ending with the Mandalorian whole thing, because I think it set up like this thing with Bo that I think is really cool.
Right. I'm just done with the whole leave the masks on thing. I'm just done with that.
Children of the Watch, man.
You're done with Grogu. You're done with the leaving on the mask.
I am. I'm not done with Grogu. It'd be nice you just visit him ever so often. But I do like I like the fact that he's got more of a person. It seems like he has more of a personality. He's a little bit more mature. He knows how to close his own door.
I want to hear him talk though. You know what I mean?
He gave them the warning.
True.
In the beginning,
before the ships came.
Before the ships came.
Yeah.
And I saw what was going to happen.
And going back to what you've brought up about this show, them showing Coruscant. This was a huge deal because the only times we've ever seen Coruscant is really pre-Empire. We never even saw Coruscant during the Empire. Because Palpatine basically took over the Jedi Temple.
No, that's not true.
When did we see it?
You see it during Andor, during the Empire.
Okay, true.
Yeah, you get to see like the whole actually you get to see a decent part of you see a lot of Coruscant.
You're right.
You actually see more of Coruscant as far as the inner workings of it. Well, not more, but you see a lot.
You see the politics of it.
You still get to see the Senate. You get to see like the
But this is after, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
That was really dope. And Coruscant's so epic, just in everything. You know, how big it is and all the colors and the skyscrapers and everything.
Cool ice cream.
I also thought it was cool because Coruscant is, you know, tens of thousands of years old, that civilization on Coruscant. Okay. And I thought it was really cool how they pointed out that he's like, oh, what's that rock? And it's the highest peak on Coruscant. That was pretty cool. Because they were going to make a video game, and I'm spacing on the name now, but it was going to be all about the underworld of Coruscant.
It was a number.
Something
it was
13.
Like,
13.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like
I know
that,
what you're
right?
talking about.
And it was going to be all about like the underground because it goes down hundreds of floors where they don't even know where the actual like crust of the planet is. Like, where's the floor of the planet?
Right.
And so it was cool that they have like the top of the mountain. Like, that's the highest peak. Yeah. It's the only land. I thought that was a cool little like.
I think it was supposed to be like a bounty hunter game. I think you actually might have played as like Boba Fett or something like that. And you go down there looking for people and shit.
They killed that right when Disney bought.
Yeah, I think that was the last thing that LucasArts was working on.
Yep. Yeah, that would have been so sick.
Star Wars 1313.
There you go. Boom. So I thought that was a cool little, almost, you know, quote unquote Easter egg.
No, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, overall, I think it was a good episode. I liked it.
Yeah,
like, it had potential to be a great episode. It didn't have that banger feeling after the beginning part of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
After that first 10 minutes, it was like, this is cool to see this. This is cool. This is cool.
I mean, you see why they did that, because they knew the bulk of the show was going to be quote unquote a talking episode.
Yeah.
You know, and I did like that though. I did like that. I wanted it to be, I didn't know where it was going to go. I wanted to go somewhere epic. And it feels like just killing the Doctor off doesn't feel epic to me.
Totally.
Having this
I'm right there with you.
Communications Imperial officer person, like trying to like whatever she's trying to do doesn't feel epic to me. Like, no. Now it might the next episode, because we get to see what it was actually, what the fruits of all this actually, you know, leads to. Then maybe it feels a little bit more epic, but that just seeing Coruscant was good, but it wasn't great. It could have been great.
I'm just glad they didn't end the episode without going back to Din.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I was gonna be a little butthurt if
there
they
was
did
a point where I thought the show was over. I was like, oh man, really? But that was kind of good. Just kind of see like, yeah, here's my proof. Here's my water. Go take it over to your what were you saying, Max? What were you calling it? Like
what? pH tester.
Yeah, go take your pH tester. Let's make sure I'm telling the truth.
Make sure it's pure, man.
Yeah, and then
I'm now excited for next week though. Like I'm always excited for all of them, but like this has me like, all right, cool. Cause now what? You know, now you've closed off. Now you've opened up a few other doors. Like, cool. Where are y'all gonna take us now?
Yeah, I really want to see where this is heading, because it's the 3 episodes really have closed off a lot of loops. They haven't extended anything. They give you little teases of something.
I think Carl Weathers. You're gonna see Carl Weathers in a couple episodes going, dude, are you ever gonna come back for this fucking droid or what? We've been holding on to this thing. I think you had to do something important with this thing. It's just been sitting here.
Took our statue apart and
I want to put my statue back together. If you're not doing anything with them.
Season finale. Wait for that. That's down the line.
All right, I think we're at a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah, that was good.
I can't even speculate where this is going to go. I mean, with the exception of somehow we're going to gather the troops together and retake Mandalore. Like, I still don't know what's happening with that, but hey, we get more Bo-Katan, which is always a good thing. I like Bo-Katan. My wife's favorite character now is Bo-Katan, which is great.
I love her.
Yeah, big fan. Okay, anybody else want to end with anything, or are we good to go?
Good, man. See you guys next week.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And also, anybody who's listening to this episode, please, if you have any thoughts, if you think we missed anything, if you don't like our takes, whatever the case is, send us a message. We'd love to hear from people. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page, and check out our Twitter. Send us some likes. Send us some love.
Subscribe,
please. That'd be great. We're wrapping our other show we're doing, which is The Last of Us. We have a final couple episodes coming out. I can't say final couple episodes, doesn't make any sense. But we're giving our final take on the episode 9, and then we've got our season review, which we're going to do, which we'll have some guests on for that, hopefully. And then we'll be peppering in some episodes throughout, talking about, any new and upcoming news on The Last of Us. So please be sure to check that out. Don't forget to check out our other show called Still Holds Up. New episodes should be dropping soon. And then our super secret new show will eventually air at some point, and we'll talk about it at some point as soon as we get everybody's schedules lined up, because some people like to go see bands that don't even speak English.
Okay, they totally speak
Nobody
English.
knows what AFI says, dude.
What are you talking
only
about?
Melody. It's only melody.
I 100% disagree because I knew every word in the concert. I digress.
Hey, I loved AFI when I was younger, too.
Dude,
But that was
so awesome.
That was the biggest joke.
God,
It's like,
they
what's he
rocked
saying?
it.
I don't know, but it sounds catchy. Let's go along with it. All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Music composed by Kyle Torme. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Extremist coverage of The Mandalorian. Subscribe to the Extremist podcast feed at rotyourbrainmedia.com/The Extremist. Subscribe to Rot Your Brain Media feed at rotyourbrainmedia.com, and support Rot Your Brain Media by visiting patreon.com/rotyourbrainmedia.